Molalla River Watch's mission is to preserve, protect, and restore the Molalla River watershed through education, conservation, and restoration for future generations. I originally got involved with Molalla River Watch because I do love to fish. The decline of fishing was quite evident back in the early 90s, and I wanted to see what I could do to improve fish habitat.
I was just drawn to River Watch for the cleanups and the fact that I grew up in this area and always loved the area. Well, we were very early pioneers here. They settled the Dickey Prairie area down here in 1846. Came over in a covered wagon from Pennsylvania. So I'm the 5th generation to farm down here, just a few miles away. The organization really started out as an organization to clean up the river when I joined.
Twice a year we have a river cleanup, and most of the time anywhere there can be vehicle traffic, you will find quite a bit of garbage. For years the area was looked at as, I think, the county dump. Dump Stoppers has been a fantastic source of clearing up the garbage from our forest lands, not only in this area but all throughout Clackamas County. Our partnerships there are Bureau of Land Management, Clackamas County, and again a lot of the equestrian, mountain biking, even the rifle clubs and Hunters Association help us out on the spring cleanups. The Molalla River Corridor became our main focus because it had just been recently acquired by the Bureau of Land Management, and we developed a wonderful partnership with the BLM to caretake this area.
I'm 6 feet tall, so that's how big this tree is. This was a big one.
This is one of the trees that was recently planted by middle school students doing some plantings. It's a cedar tree, and the students put their names on the tag, so we know that Jack planted this tree. It's doing very well.
When the public land swap went through with the Timber Corporation to make the corridor public, then we got involved with the trail system up here, which people are enjoying today.
There is quite a bit of partnerships and relationships fostering and development that happened specifically with Molalla River Watch, a non-profit organization of local concerned citizens for the stewardship of the river, coming out and making a lot of this happen actually. Most of the trails were developed and designed by input with both hikers, horseback riders, and mountain bikers, and coming to some type of consensus about what the degree of level of challenge would be for that specific trail and what type of experience those different individual users or groups were looking for. What we have is our main portal system to our trail network. We have about 50 plus miles of interconnected loop trails with varying levels of challenge and degrees of physical exertion that would be needed to negotiate some of these trails. They're non-motorized shared use trails consisting for hikers, mountain bikers, and horseback riders.
And the great thing about this multi-use trail system is that we've all built it from the beginning, so we just don't have a lot of conflicts, which I think is a very wonderful thing, because a lot of trail systems, you talk to people and they say that they have conflicts. Mountain bikes don't like the horses, and equestrians don't like the mountain bikes. And this trail system, you just never hear people say those kind of things. We have about 50 miles of trail system, including the rock roads. It's a steep terrain, so you have to shore up the banks of the trail sometimes. So it's a pretty big job just to keep all of that going. But all of the work is done by volunteers. And those volunteers come together the fourth Saturday of every month and work on this trail system to maintain it, to build bridges, put in culverts. We've built hitching rails. We've put up shelters and just hauled gravel and done all kinds of work. Everyone enjoys being a volunteer, and we serve them a barbecue afterwards. We do close the single track trails in the wintertime because they just get too wet and muddy. But otherwise there aren't any restrictions on people using these trails. They're all open to the public. There's no charges for them either. You don't have to pay any fees. You just park at the trailhead and go out and be courteous and enjoy the trail. There is camping. There's no actual camping facilities. There are designated sites along the river for people to camp. They just have a fire ring and tables. So we would prefer that people just kind of day use here and not camp, because the river is the source of water for both Molalla and Canby. And we all feel really strongly about, we would really like it not to be polluted. And I think there's been talk of an actual hosted campground where they actually would actually charge a fee and have tables, bathrooms, shelters in the area of the Pine Creek Bridge. All of us would like an actual campground, because then there would be restrooms and we wouldn't have to worry about people having to just go behind a tree. The outdoor education area is called Aquia Vista. It means Eagle's View, and that's why we named it Aquia Vista, and that's where the American Wildlife Federation has done some of their releases of the raptors that they've rescued and brought back. You know, they either were hit by a car or shot, or for some reason they were injured, and people turn them into this group and they keep them there until they're able to release them back into the wild. And they will release them when they're during events that we have up there, so that more people can have the experience of seeing these birds and how beautiful they are when they're released and not putting in captivity. And
different people have counted and sectioned it off, and by section, estimating 100 years each section, it's close to 500 years old.
And hopefully we'll be able to leave this area just totally natural, this little canyon through here, and watch the changes that occur.
The wildlife use in this area is fantastic, and it's great to lead the students around. Sometimes we do water chemistry, sometimes it's just plant identification or wildlife tracks and signs identification. We have experts in those fields that come out and work with the students, so they get the benefit of how someone does a survey of wildlife within an area.
we have a trail called Ivers Trail, and that trail is dedicated to a gentleman who lives in this area. He's lived in Molalla all his life, and his name is Ivor Davies, and he's donated a lot of money for this trail system and actually for several different things around the town of Molalla. We have a bench on the trail system that we put in his honor, and it's right beside a little creek along this little trail.
Now, the Molalla Indians were not native to the area. They're supposed to have been an offshoot from the Cayuse tribe in eastern Oregon. And they apparently found an area in the Cascade Mountains and back of Dickey Prairie and further south as far as Scotts Mills area, where they could move in, and they did so and were there until they were moved mostly to the Grand Ronde Reservation. when John Kilgore Dickey took up his donation land claim, for which the area is named, Dickey Prairie, he made a deal with the Molalla Indians. And they understood that it was his land, but they had his permission to come and camp in their usual places along the creek, as they had always done. The one known as Henry Yelkus was the best known of those. He came back, and also his sister Kate did likewise. I actually saw him. He was in the house, and I saw him again in 1913, the year he died, when the first railroad trains came to Molalla, and there was a big celebration of that, and he was there that day, dressed in his Indian finery. I saw him there then.
That these trails will go on forever and be here for my great-grandkids and everyone else's. Usually we have about 130 horses and about 25 to 30 bikes. This is our 10th year for this benefit trail ride that we've been organizing it for 10 years and having it for 10 years.
The event today at the Horseless Hikers and Mountain Bikers Poker Ride Hike was to fund the tools, materials, and volunteer support for all of the volunteers that come out and work on the trails on a regular basis.
They'll be coming down this road, following the pink ribbons. Oh, okay, well, you could work on three of a kind. I know. The people at the next card draw, they could be bought, I think.
Well, for those of you that don't know what a poker ride is, we have decks of cards at 3 card draw stations out on the trails that are used. We have a deck of cards at the registration table. People will purchase one hand of cards for $5 or 5 hands for $20. And again, the money goes to trail maintenance and improvements. The first card is drawn at the registration table.
Yeah, I'm on my way to Vegas.
Where participants are given a tally card. We will write down the card that they have just drawn, and then they will travel the trail to the next card draw station and draw another card until they have 4 cards, and their last card is again drawn at the registration table when they return to turn in their tally card.
I don't think I have any other 4. So.
Have you ever been on this trail before?
No, just last Saturday when I helped with some trail work. So it was kind of neat. The one bridge we worked on, got to go over it. So a little bit of familiar territory.
No, but no, they're going to throw me in the bucket and get that.
The best poker hand wins a $100 grand prize, which is donated by Molalla Communications Company. And the 5 best hands under that receive their first choice of the prizes that we have accumulated from many, many local businesses in the area.
You want this one or this one?
How much are they?
50 cents. 50 cents!
There you go.
Now I'm proud to say that my daughter is the secretary of the organization, and my grandson's here today, and also my mother comes out and helps, so it's quite a family deal for us.
That is what brings the diverse membership together, is a love for the Molalla River, wanting to caretake it in a fashion that it will be enjoyed by children and grandchildren for generations.
Granny, you met my grandson Clint?
Hi, it's nice to meet you,
He's going to be
Clint.
cooking this time.
So that's why it's real gratifying when we can get the young folks from the schools, from the 4-H programs. Boy Scouts are up here a lot, helping with different service projects. When we can keep them with that same love of the land and the same passion for keeping a trail system or any type of outdoor activity alive and well, that's where our future is with the children. Well, I just want the whole thing to keep going so that younger people can enjoy it the same way we all do, us that are getting older.
We are always looking for more volunteers that maybe want to spend a day with a fun group of people and put in a little elbow grease and improve the trails, keep them maintained.
It only takes one time to volunteer and meet lots of other people who have the same passion you do and like to be out and like to feel good about what they're accomplishing and just give a little bit back.
If anyone is interested in getting involved in Molalla River Watch and want information on volunteering, our website is www.molallariverwatch.org. And look forward to seeing as many people that can come out and work on trails.